Alright, so this is a Dodge Caliber SRT-4 Foglight in bracket. It's the OEM unit. People have put aftermarket bulbs in these and melted them. But a buddy of mine said, hey, I've got this really affordable. It's very similar to the JW speaker. It may be physically identical to it. What are you doing, Beans? What's up, buddy? So I think this kit is about $60. It's an X-Prite Jeep JK Foglight. Conveniently, it has the exact same plug as the SRT-4 Caliber. It actually does come with an extension harness with a different plug, so you got to remove that so that you're using the proper one. Essentially, this is what you get. You get this JK JL adapter housing. And so what I did was I made this adapter bracket. It's 3D printed. It is carbon fiber ASA, so it's very strong. It's very rigid. It's definitely stronger than the OEM plastic. And also because it's ASA, it is UV resistant. It's very corrosion resistant to road salt and such. Right now I'm just offering the carbon fiber black because the carbon fiber ASA can only be black for the most part. So I will have to do a couple tests with some non-carbon fiber ASA if someone wants some different colors. ABS glass fiber is an option in quite a few colors, but ABS is not UV resistant in the same sense that the ASA is. So there may be corrosion issues over time. There may not be. It really not sure how that is affected by the driving and the road salt. And so what you get in the kit that I sell is simply these brackets. You'll get 2 of them. And what you got to do is order the JK X-Prite kit. And what's nice about that is there's quite a few options. You can get like a white halo ring. You can get a multicolor halo ring. There's quite a few nice options. And for these only being $60, they're actually a really good fog light. The JW speaker ones, I believe, are about $350 a set. So when you get this kit, what you're going to have to do to start with is you're going to have to remove your caliber bracket. I'm not actually sure if you have to pull this off the car, but I'm going to assume it's going to be a lot easier to convert this. And so to do that, you're going to want to take a T20 Torx bit and remove the OEM screw. And it may be difficult because it could be rusty and heavily corroded, and it may snap off in the process. A lot of these actually break fairly easily. And so this is your pitch adjustment for your lights. You're going to have to adjust your car later down the road. Let's pull that out. So now that you remove that, this just pops right out. It's a bit easier to have some pliers or something you can just put in the session. Very good. Very good. It's much easier if you pry from the front. Okay, so we've saved the OEM bracket, so it'll fit like OEM. Remove the factory fog light. And then you're going to want to remove the Jeep JK assembly that comes with the kit that you get from X-Prite. So I believe this is a 4mm. You can also use a T25 Torx, which is what we'll need to install the rest of this. And so you're going to want to remove I think it's a zinc plated screw. It's not fully stainless. and that just comes right out of there. And then you just pop that housing off, and this guy is good to go. So we're going to set both of those aside. Now, you can either use the X-Prite spring, which is new, or you can use the OEM spring, which is a little bit stiffer, so I would recommend you use the OEM spring if it's not too rusted and corroded. And so what you're going to do is now take the new housing that comes in the kit that I'll sell, and you're going to want to pull the adjustment screw out of this, I call it a roller nut, I guess. Go ahead and put that in and just get it started. And this is the same T20 with a fully stainless, really high quality screw that I've included. And then you're going to want to take your T10 and pull these 4 screws. They're a M3 screw. Make sure not to lose the washer. All right. If you want to be careful, make sure these don't fall out. It's fine, or you just take them out. So you want to make sure that it's lined up right. This tab only goes one way. Make sure the wire goes technically over the bottom of this. And you're going to line it up in the little grooves and slowly push it back, and it will snap into place. It can be a little stiff and a little difficult. And once you get there, we're just going to go ahead and throw the cover back on. Now, what you're going to want to do is the 2 bolts first that are on the opposite side of this opening, this slot. And so just go ahead and get those started. But don't tighten them all the way down yet. Just get them, 3-4 mils in. And then you're going to have to squeeze these ends together. It pinches the Foglight. And that one should line up pretty easy. You can get that started. And then the last one can be a pain in the butt. And it is a lot easier to get the screw in without this guy in the way. But because it's a pain in the butt, the material actually works as a lock nut and does a pretty good job holding the screws in place. They can hold quite a bit of torque, but obviously they don't need to be over tightened. Their purpose is just to hold the bezel on the front. So there you go. Alright, so now we have the housing properly installed. And then you've got this additional stainless T25 screw. It wasn't exactly necessary to include this, but might as well, a little extra holding power. Now the threads on the Foglight are, they have a smaller OD, so the threads themselves work as a lock nut. So the first time you run one of these stainless screws in here, it's going to be very difficult, and it'll almost feel like the threads are wrong. Just make sure it's not cross-threaded, and it screws right in. So go ahead and tighten that bad boy down. Make sure when you put this in that this screw lines up with this boss. Go ahead and put that through. And then again, line these up, push it back, snap it in place, and then you can just pull the spring down and slide it over. If it's easier for you, go ahead and do this last and just run the screw down through. But you just push it into place and you're good to go. You will have to line up, you will have to align your headlights yourself. So this is something you'll have to tune. They install on the vehicle like this and you're good to go, and you can install the bracket. And I believe that's it. And so what you have is you have two basically OEM style replacement fog lights that drop in and they fit like OEM, so there's no issues. Hey babe, are you in here? Can you grab the bezel or the bumper bezel real quick? Thank you. And so the OEM have features in here so that the fog light sits in here nice and flush, almost locks into place. And so it kind of has a finished fit like that. And you get basically the same thing with this. And that's what it looks like fully installed. And so once you get it installed back in the car, you're just going to have to adjust this screw to level your headlights. It might be worth paying attention when you uninstall them, making sure they're kind of at the similar pitch, but they should fit exactly like OEM. They should fit in the bezel very nicely, and they have this nice carbon fiber finish on the front. And that's how you install the Jeep fog lights in your SRT-4 Caliber.